In this video clip, we will add a new compound to the project configuration file and look at some of the configuration settings. In the previous exercise, we added carbon monoxide to the tutorial database, and we will now add this species to the project configuration file. So, with SysCAD open, but all projects closed, we'll go to Edit, Project Configuration, and we'll see the Project Configurations dialog box. If your project configuration is not listed in the dialog box, please click on the Browse button and browse to the required file. In this case, we're going to be using the SysCAD tutorial configuration file. So you can either double-click on this file, or we can click on the Edit button. The first dialog window that is visible allows you to add or remove SysCAD unit models from the project. We will not add or remove any models in this exercise, and hence we will just click on the Next button. In the next dialog window, please make sure that your Species tab is clicked. And here you will see all of the species that are used in the project displayed in the central window, in the order in which they will appear on the species page. All of the species in the species database are displayed in the left-hand window. The species with a tick are included in the project. So you'll see here you have calcium hydroxide 2 ticked, and there it is there in the project. We want to add carbon monoxide gas to the project. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'll change my filter, which at the moment is showing all species, and I'll just change it to vapors only, which will just make a shorter list, and then it's easier for me to find the carbon monoxide. So I'll click on the carbon monoxide, and all I have to do is click on the Add button. And you'll see it's added carbon monoxide here into the vapors list. If I wanted to add another species, let's say we'll add a solid species, so I'll change my filter to solids only. And I'll go and add calcium chloride solid. So I'll click on that. Click on the Add button, and it goes and it adds it here into the solids list. Now we're not really going to add that to our project, so to remove a species, just click on the species in the project species list and click on the Remove button. And you'll see it's now removed it from the list. So once a species exists in the project species database, it is a simple matter to add it to the project. And that's all we're going to do now, so I could just click on the OK button. But while the configuration editor is open, I'll briefly describe some of the other functionality. So the first thing I'll just look at is order. So you can see at the moment it's GLS, which stands for gas, liquid, solid. So the vapors, liquids, solids. And let's have a look. There are 3 predefined orders: solid, liquid, gas, gas, liquid, solid, or liquid, solid, gas. If I changed it to SLG, for instance, you'll see my solids is first, then the liquids. I've clicked down there, vapors at the bottom. Okay. Custom is where you can order the species in any order that you like. So if I click on the custom, my move up and move down buttons are now available, and I can move how the species looks. If I wanted water to move down in the list of liquids, I click on the move down button, and you'll see it is moving down in the list. So if I change it back to gas, liquid, solids, you'll see that my species are ordered alphabetically within each phase, with the only exception being that water is at the top of the liquids phase and steam is at the top of the vapors phase. The other thing of interest here is the temperature range. Now, as you see, I'm looking at cobalt sulfate, and the data is valid in the species database from 25 degrees Celsius to 277 degrees Celsius. But if I knew I was going to be working slightly lower than 25, say 20 degrees, and I didn't want SysCAD to give me a warning every time, what I can do is increase my tolerance. So I could say tolerance of 20 degrees lower, and therefore I can work down to 5 degrees without getting a warning from SysCAD. I just want to quickly look at the configuration tab here. So if I click on configuration, and the fields that you probably look at the most here would be the normal temperature. Now in this case, we're saying normal temperature is 20 degrees. And where that's used, is for when SysCAD calculates the normalized volume flow, usually for gases. So just be careful that the normal temperature in your SysCAD project matches the normal temperature that the rest of the engineering group is using, because different industries do use different normal temperatures. And the other ones that you might change would be your minimum and maximum temperatures and pressures for the project. Okay, so when we're finished, in our case, all that you will do is add your carbon monoxide. So when you're finished, if you click on the OK button, it's added that to the configuration, and that new species, carbon monoxide, will be available the next time you open your project.